Hello, everyone. I'm Joseph Giarraputo, the publisher and editorial director of Global Finance, coming to you from New York. I'm joined today by Mudassir Amray, managing director and CEO of Nigeria's Titan Trust Bank, who is in Lagos. Titan is Nigeria's newest bank, having been in operation less than 2 years. Remarkably, for such a new bank, Global Finance has just selected as the best trade finance bank in Nigeria. This is the 21st year we've conducted these awards, and the first time a bank has advanced as quickly from a standing start to a country award. Mr. Amre, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And once again, formally, thank you for the award. We
Okay,
appreciate that
welcome.
Global Finance is encouraging young banks.
Indeed. We were once a young magazine, so we know how it goes. Um, Tell me, how has the COVID 19 pandemic impacted Nigeria's society and economy?
Yeah, look, of course, this was tough for the country in the sense that it impacted Nigeria in two ways since it has started earlier this year, earlier 2020, right? So, first impact, and I think the major impact was primarily because of the drop in oil prices. Because of the global demand and supply gap, the oil prices declined. And Nigeria, being an oil exporter, of course, got impacted in terms of less inflow of US dollars and pressure on foreign exchange and pressure on the exchange rate, etc., etc. At the same time, because of the virus and all that, frequent lockdowns has also impacted the economy, and primarily I would say down the line in terms of either the daily workers, daily wage workers, your small and medium enterprises, your mom and pop shops, and all that. I think corporates, big corporates, is still, I think they learn the trick very quickly in order to operate in the new norm, but still there is a gap between, I would say, overall demand of the consumer products. So the impact was all along, and of course there are few industries which really got hit hard. For example, entertainment. So entertainment industry, whether it was restaurants, bars, nightclubs, theaters, cinema, all of them got serious impact. So yes, it was a tough year, but I think government took some measures, timely measures, to mute or at least lower the impact.
Okay. So Nigeria was hit hard by both the pandemic and falling oil prices.
Correct, correct. And
Titan,
meaning oil price declined because of the pandemic globally, right? So
yeah.
that's the link.
Okay. Well, Titan was recently launched into this strained environment. How has Titan adapted to survive in these conditions?
Well, seriously, and I think that was, I think, quite tough for us. Meaning we started operations in October 2019, and March 2020 the whole pandemic and lockdowns, etc., started. So we were less than 6 months into operation. We had a strategy, very aggressive strategy for 2020, and then we had to face all of these new challenges. And of course these challenges were exaggerated, for us young bank like us, because just for example, one example is that we had only one location that we are operating from. So any one or two virus cases in a location could have forced us to shut down the entire institution. We don't have many branches or many think, okay, you shut down few branches and you operate with few branches. We had only one location. So there were many challenges, and apart from that, of course, the business challenge. Clients were facing problems, so we had to be more selective in terms of who do we do business with. We had to be more strategic in terms of how do we make ourselves relevant in those selected clients. So we did that, and we analyzed very quickly and observed very quickly that what are the pinpoints. And one of the key, I would say, need for the top corporate sector was trade finance. The Because of the pandemic, the entire supply chain was, got disrupted. And we thought if we can play a role in that particular angle, then perhaps it will give us relevance. Although, despite of her young age and despite of her small size, we will get more relevant in some of the big names. And touch wood, it worked, and we did well in that particular area.
Well, looking at the situation now, how can Titan help the Nigerian economy succeed?
Yeah, yeah. So look, of course, it's a very wide topic, right? And Titan being one of the banks, I wouldn't say that we can change the economy, but we can only play a role, whatever small role that we can play. And the way we look at it is that we divide the market into two or three segments. So one is, let's say, the top corporates, right? And top corporates, we are talking about large conglomerates. So we have worked with them very well in terms of, because we are not trying to do everything that those guys do. Of course, their banking needs are very wide. So we have selected one or two niche for us where we will operate, and trade finance is one of them. And as I said, it worked well timely with the overall pandemic situation, because the entire supply chain was got impacted. So a timely move to put all the pieces in place for to play an effective role in the global trade finance, and help customers in their imports, exports, etc. So of course that gave us quite a bit of traction in the large corporates. Then there is middle market, which we call it SME commercial. Now, SME commercial space, of course, the real value addition that we thought we can provide them is in terms of, apart from the usual banking products, either in terms of lending and trade finance and all of that, it's to educate them in terms of how to operate in the new global and digital world. And for that particular reason, we did partnership with IFC, and we did one particular seminar recently. We have started into three phases. So phase one is completed, where we are basically educating them how globally small enterprises are becoming relevant and reducing their cost from digital offerings. So that partnership with IFC has worked well. We have done one session, and we are going to do two more, second phase two and phase three, in this year. With regards to retail, which is individuals, there we realize, of course, the key thing is convenience, right? You have to make banking products available to individuals at more and more convenience. Now, there is always a trade-off when you talk about convenience versus security versus products, right? In terms of the financial solutions. So there is always a trade-off, and you have to strike a right balance between the two, between the three, in fact, I would say. So I think we took a good start. We have put all the ingredients in place in the first 12 months. We were not very active in the retail space, I would say, till now. But going forward, you will see us more and more visible in that particular space, because we have put all ingredients that we needed to hit the market.
Okay. Um, in the current environment, Nigerian manufacturers are faced with significant problems sourcing new materials from offshore suppliers. This is because of perceived Nigerian risk and faltering supply chains. You've covered some of this, but could you tell us more on how Titan plans to assist local manufacturers overcome these problems?
Yeah. So listen, I think that's one of the, and I hinted that before, that that's one of the key problem for the top corporates and top manufacturers in Nigeria right now, in terms of the supply chain and the materials that they source from offshore. And it has multiple problems, both from perceived Nigeria risk, as of course increase the confirmation pricing and the cross-border offshore funding pricing. At the same time, the scarcity of dollars have brought some challenges locally in terms of sourcing dollars in time to retire those obligations. So what we are trying to do is basically to bridge the gap in the most efficient manner. So if you have few delays in sourcing dollars from the official market, then of course we try to bridge that gap from our own dollar liquidity that we source from various investors and various depositors. And of course that brings some constraint on the capacity. But then again, you have to be selective, and you need to have a fair distribution formula in terms of your client base, and in terms of which market segments you want to support. So yes, so as I said, our partnerships with some of the global institutions, whether it's Citibank, whether it's IFC, and there are a few others, and liquidity, foreign currency liquidity. Both combined of these two things have given us the ability to help our clients in a timely manner.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This has been informative, and I thank you for your time and your input. Is there anything else you want to add to the situation in Nigeria?
No, thank you. I think, look, now let's say if we talk about 2021, I think 2021 is going to be a very, very interesting year for Nigeria. Of course, the challenges are there, but at the same time, now there is more optimism globally, and so as in Nigeria, that maybe, most of us will get vaccinated very soon, and the world will become normal. Whether it could be second quarter, third quarter, fifth quarter, no one knows, but there are various theories. But at least that optimism has started and kicked some momentum in the market, and we can already see some inquiries starting from clients who want to expand their businesses, because the government has launched very timely, and CBN in particular, very timely and some very attractive schemes for the manufacturers to expand their businesses, in terms of providing them funding at reasonable and very cheap cost to motivate them to expand. So I think it will kick off, and we are more optimistic for 2021 than what we did in 2020. So yeah, it will be an interesting year, and we all hope that we will end up much better than where we ended in 2020.
We're seeing that same optimism from a lot of quarters, and I hope it comes to pass.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir. Have a good
great.
day.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.